it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I have the news release from Cirque Colors. This is technically an old release that they are re-releasing. I believe this originally came out in 2021, maybe? So the California Dreamin collection features 6 polishes in a neon shimmer finish. They also all have a very delicate holographic running throughout all of the polishes. The California Dreamin collection is inspired by all things California. Then I believe High Society is a polish that was previously released as a polish. In case you missed it, Cirque does that on occasion. The California Dreamin collection is available right now on the Cirque Colors website. If you would like to pick up this release on the Cirque Colors website, I do also have an affiliate code for their website. Feel free to use code Nicole Loves Nails to save 10% on everything on the website. Also, I do want to also add, Happy Pride!
I just want to say I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and this is my best friend, Valentina. She's an ally. Talk, Valentina. Ally.
So shout to all of my LGBTQ plus pals. For Pride this year, they're doing an entire Do Good Pride shop. According to the information that I got from the brand, there are currently 16 polishes on the website in their Do Good shop, and shopping polishes in the Do Good area of the shop will support the Transgender Law Center. If you are new to Cirque Colors is a US-based indie brand. Their polishes are in 11 ml bottles. They are 10-free, cruelty-free, as well as being vegan friendly. The products featured in today's video were sent to me by the brand in PR. This video is not sponsored, and thank you, Cirque, for sending these over to me. As always, down in the description box, I will have links to where you can pick these polishes up. I will also have links to some of the brand's various stockist pages. Cirque Colors does offer international shipping from their website, but they also do have a various international stockist pages. I'll have their social media pages linked, my social media pages linked, and I will also have a link to my new YouTube channel if you're interested. And of course, timestamps as well. Let's get into this video. First up, we have Flamingo, which Cirque describes as a neon pink with blue shimmer. We are starting out strong with Flamingo. This was the polish that I was most looking forward to trying. It is a bright AF neon pink. Formula on this one was really good. It was a little bit on the thicker side, but the kind of thickness that adds to opacity rather than difficulty in use. Self-leveled and applied very, very nicely. My full-hand swatches show this one in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. I am, however, going to call this one a 2 to 3 coater depending on application style. I think this is one of the more solid 2 coaters in the release, but I could see just like a tiny hint of nail line at some angles. While the official descriptions that I received do not include this mention, but I did notice there is this like a little bit of a twinkle of holographic in here. It's a very delicate twinkle, and the holographic does not add any texture to this one, but you will still want top coat for a glossy finish. Nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove, and I did not personally experience any staining. And now we have Day Tripper, which the brand describes as a neon coral with a gold shimmer. I absolutely love how bright this color is. Oddly enough, it's coming across very pinky leaning here in the live swatch. Definitely look at my full hand swatch photos for a more color accurate representation to what I was seeing in person. This is a very orange leaning coral, like just like a tiny drop of red, but I wouldn't call it a red either. Formula on this one was pretty good. I did find it a little bit patchy when I was doing my full hand swatch. I'm going to call this one another 2 to 3 coater, but I think this is going to be like a likely 3 coater just to get nice even coverage going. Honestly, I'm not mad at all about the 3 coats. Like, I freaking love how this one looks. The shimmer in here is super glowy, and just like the previous polish and all the other polishes, there is also a holographic element to all of these, but it's a very light dusting. Nothing in here is going to dry down textured. Removal will be very easy. I did not personally experience any staining with this one, but I feel like this is a potential stainer. This next polish is called High Society, and Cirque Colors describes it as a neon green with copper shimmer. High Society was originally released in 2022 as a 420 celebration polish.
Chris, is that a weed?
No, this is a crayon.
I'm calling the police!
911, what's your emergency?
High Society had a pretty good formula. I found this one to be just a little bit patchy and uneven on the first 2 coats. I really needed 3 coats to really even this one out completely. I kind of missed a spot on the side of my nail, so feel free to ignore that. Painting your nails while watching your nails through a monitor is surprisingly more difficult than I ever expected it to be. This polish gives me a lot of like Nickelodeon slime vibes. The shimmer in here is super strong and super glowy. It does not show any brush strokes, which I'm so thankful for because I really hate seeing brush strokes through shimmer. One thing about this one I did notice was in bright direct lighting that the cameras all seem to really accentuate like how strong the shimmer is. Like it's definitely strong and definitely glowy, but I just feel like in bright direct lighting, cameras just seem to exaggerate the shimmer a little bit. My full-in swatches show High Society in 3 coats plus a glossy top coat. This one does dry down fairly dull, so you will want top coat for a glossy finish and super easy removal. And I did have some visible nail line with this one even after 3 coats. If you use visible nail line blurring bases, I think this would be a good polish to pair with those if that kind of thing bothers you. Next up we have Kokomo, which the brand describes as a neon turquoise with a pink shimmer. Kokomo also had a really nice formula. As you can see here on that first coat, this one looked real sheer, but I did find it builds up really nicely. However, I did still have some visible nailing with this one after 3 coats. When I was doing my full-in swatches, I originally was just going to swatch this one in 2 coats, but as I watched the polish dry down, it seemed to dry down just a tiny bit more sheer than it initially applied, so I opted to add a 3rd coat just to see if that got me any more opacity going. And while I did still have some visible nailing with this one after 3 coats, I do think that that 3rd coat just deepened the base just a tiny bit, but I still feel like I want to call this a 2 to 3 coater because like it's also fairly minimal of a difference between 2 coats and 3. Color wise in person, I would definitely put this one in the turquoise family. Gotta say, I really hate swatching colors like this because I feel like all of my cameras photograph this kind of color just slightly differently. I do wish the shimmer was just a tiny bit stronger in this one. I feel like in my studio lighting, it picked up the shimmer really well, but out in natural lighting, the shimmer wasn't as obvious. It's in that glow from within category that I always feel very hit or miss with me. Once again, super easy removal, no issues with staining, and nothing in here will dry down textured. Next up is Catalina, which the brand describes as a faded neon blue with pink shimmer. I absolutely love that Cirque is describing this as a faded neon blue. I feel like if left to my own color descriptions, I probably would have put this in the denim category. However, looking at it, it is actually very similar in color to a neon that I have that was previously a really bright blue but has faded down to a color like this. So I find that very hysterical that this is the color that some neon blues actually do fade to. Did find that because this one has a very contrasting pink shimmer, the pink shimmer makes this seem like it's in the periwinkle or blurple family, but in my opinion, it's definitely in the blue family. The color contrast between the base color and the shimmer I thought was fantastic. I'm outside and a bug, yep, there we go, bug landed on my hand. I'm getting attacked by bugs just to get you guys some natural light shots. You're welcome. This is one of the sheerer polishes in the release, so I do think this one definitely needs to be built up in 3 coats to really get the base color that you want as well as the shimmer. As with all the other polishes in this release, the holographic in here is a very delicate sparkle. It will not dry down textured or make removal overly difficult. The holographic does seem to be a little bit more dense in this polish, but I think that might just be because this one is a bit more sheer than some of the other polishes, so you just see it a little bit better, and you will want top coat for a glossy finish. I had a very strong feeling someone was going to want to see what this looks like next to Hollow Taco's Blue Rizzler that just came out like last week. I'm honestly a little surprised at how similar the 2 base colors are. The biggest difference between the 2 in my opinion is that the Hollow Taco has a lot more holographic flakies in it, so it's a lot more holographic than this polish is. For Blue Rizzler, I found that the flakies are the star of the show in that polish, and for this one, I think it's the shimmer that's the star of the show. Definitely not dupes, but also still very similar. And the final polish in this release is called Bitchin.
And you kiss your mother with that mouth?
The brand describes this one as a neon purple with a turquoise green shimmer. Bitchin had a fantastic formula. This one applied so smoothly and evenly. I only did 2 coats for my full-in swatches. I probably could have added another coat just to get some more opacity going, but I just didn't really think this was going to be able to reach full opacity anyway, so I was just like, let me just do 2 coats. I feel like for all of the polishes in this release, like the opacity levels like 80 to like 95% on all of them. Sheer enough to see some nail line across the board, but not so sheer that I'm just like, where's the pigment? Much like all the other polishes, the shimmer is very glowy in this one. While you're applying this one, you will see some brush strokes through the shimmer. For the most part, they do disappear as the polish dries down. I felt like my camera was able to pick up some lines through the shimmer that my eyes weren't really picking up in person. I'm going to call this one another 2 to 3 coater depending on personal preference. The holographic in here is once again a very gentle twinkle, so nothing is going to dry down textured and removal will be very easy. I also wanted to compare Bitchin to Holo Taco's Electric Sweetener as well as Cirque Color's Jammin' Out. Once again, none of these are dupes, but they all have very similar vibes to them. I think the most in-your-face holographic would go to Jammin' Out. I think the most glowy of the shimmers would go to Bitchin, and if you want something in between, that would be Electric Sweetener. Okay, so final thoughts. As I mentioned in my Cirque Vice review, I love me rainbow anything. You throw a rainbow at me, I'm probably going to enjoy it. I thought the color story of this collection was fantastic. It is close enough to being a rainbow that made me happy. I think the only thing about this release that I kind of wish was different is I wish that the holographic just played a bigger part in the polishes. I am not really about the whole subtle light at all. At least not for my nail polish. So like, I appreciate that there is some holographic in these, but I just wish there was more holographic in them. I get based on the description of the polishes that the shimmer is the star of the show, but I still wish there was a little bit more holographic. The biggest surprise that I had about this release is I am not really the kind of person who likes oranges that lean in any way red. If there's red involved, I probably don't want anything to do with it. And I was really surprised at how much I liked Day Tripper. I thought that was fantastic. It was gorgeous. It was definitely orange, and like while the tiny drop of red was enough for me to see that it's there, it wasn't enough for me to get like lobster hands. So I was just really happy with that one, especially since I did not think I was going to like it at all. I feel like I say this about every time I have a shimmer, and I recognize that not all shimmers need to be shifty shimmers, but I kind of feel like if these were shifty shimmers, they'd be even better, but like... Again, not every shimmer has to be color shifty. These are definitely like very glowy shimmers. And yeah, I can vibe with the glowy shimmer. As far as my personal top picks go, I am 1000% sure Day Tripper, Flamingo, and High Society are going to be my top picks from this release. I would love to know what everyone else thought of this release. Are you planning on picking it? Did you get the last time it was released? Let me know. I'm always very curious what people think. As far as sale information and pricing goes, the California Dreamin collection, all these polishes are going to be priced at $14.50 each. According to the information I got sent from the brand, this collection is not currently limited edition. And again, you can use code Nicole Loves Nails to save 10% on all the polishes on the Cirque Colors website. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Shenanigans, just thank you guys so very much for the love and support. We have a members only live stream happening this Friday. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, I have a link for that in the description box, or you can click the join button right next to the subscribe button. But as always, please don't feel pressure to sign up for channel memberships. So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.